Hey everybody, David over at Two Beards and a Plant.
I'm Tuck. Welcome back.
So for today, we're going to have a little bit of a different episode. So just to let you know, this isn't about any kind of camping, bushcraft, or any kind of gear review. This is going to be more of a political statement or a opinion statement. So if that's not something you're interested in, now will be your time to turn that off. So recently, we've watched the Shawn Ryan show. Up until recently, I was a fan of Shawn Ryan's podcast. And he recently had on a guest, Dr. Dan Schneider. Dr. Dan Schneider is a PhD in theology, and apparently he is the leading expert on religious warfare and exorcism. He recently released a statement about how Freemasonry is bad and we are all devil worshippers or of satanic in nature. And I'm here to make a statement about that.
I myself am a master Mason. I have not witnessed anything satanic to my knowledge.
Yeah, and just for all transparency, we're both Master Masons. We're both Shriners. We've both been active at different times in different lodges and clubs. So here's what I have to say. Here's the important thing I want to talk about. So number one, with this gentleman who apparently speaks on behalf of the Catholic Church or is recognized by the Catholic Church. Here's my statement and question I have to everyone. So, I'm here to tell you I would leave any child, my own child included, at a lodge of Freemasons or a shrine club or a gathering of those type of gentlemen. Any day, any week, any country, and with 100% surety and thought and protection, my child would be okay and will be as good or better when I pick my child back up from these strangers. Can you honestly look at me and say that you would leave your child in a room with a Catholic priest?
Just saying they don't have the best track record.
Speaking of track record, let's talk about that. So, here are some of the horrible, horrible things Freemasons, just here in the United States. I'm not talking about any of the older lodges or any of the other lodges. This is strictly here in the United States. So here are some of the worst things the Freemasons have done. Just here locally in South Carolina, the Masonic Female College of South Carolina was established in 1854. It was one of the first female colleges in South Carolina, and if you want to look it up, it was later called Cokesbury College. Masonic senior living homes were popularized and was one of the leading resource assisted living and senior living centers before they become popular. Started by, guess what? Freemasons. Veterans homes and hospitals. Masonic veteran homes and hospitals, especially after World War I, were a large part of the United States. Those predate the VA and helping veterans because, the Freemasons. The Scottish Rite Children's Speech and Language Disorder Center. They're one of the leading researchers on ADHD, autism, and, obviously children's speech and language disorders. The York Rite. They have a pediatric vision research center. And we all know about the Shriners Hospitals. Who are the Shriners Hospitals there, Tuck?
Who are they?
Yeah.
Well, they cater to crippled children, cleft lip, and things like that. And to my knowledge, the families never receive a bill from these guys. We hold fundraisers year-round. We do raffles. It's a really good organization, in my opinion, that solely helps children.
So let's talk about the Catholic Church and some of the things the Catholic Church has done. So, speaking of children and my child or your child or any child, the Catholic Church has paid over $5 billion, billion with a B, in settlements for sexual abuse cases in the United States alone. Historical records and church laws indicate the problem of clerical sexual misconduct and child sexual abuse has existed since the church's inception. The church's own records indicate this. Oh, wow, let's talk about slavery and colonialism. The church participated in and condoned slavery and the brutal conquest and forced conversion of indigenous peoples during the colonial era, with certain popes even authorizing the Atlantic slave trade. Oh, and the Catholic Church also signed, if those things aren't bad enough, the Catholic Church also signed a treaty with the Nazis in Nazi Germany.
Didn't they help smuggle some folks down to Argentina?
That'd be the rumor of them getting out some of those good, nice, upstanding German gentlemen out of the country so they wouldn't face prosecution for war crimes. I'm glad it's such a quality organization that's bashing others.
And if I'm not mistaken, it's both the largest and oldest corporation in the world.
So speaking of corporations, let's talk about some of the scandals you'll hear about with Freemasons. You're free to Google any of this. Do a quick Google search of Freemasons and scandal and corruption. You're going to get corruption and influence, allegations of Masons using their network for favors, contracts, and hindering investigations, supposedly. You know what that sounds like to me? Any lobbyist group in Washington, D.C. that does it every day and perfectly legal.
That, and people tend to throw negative accusations or negative stigma to things that they just generally don't understand. It's human nature, unfortunately, but I wish folks would be more educated before they did such things.
Then let's talk about secrecy, because that was one of his biggest issues and complaints was our secrecy. The inherent secrecy leads to suspicion that favors are exchanged behind closed doors, potentially undermining public trust and the trust of the Catholic Church. So here's the thing. Think of all the things you've said behind closed doors with your friends, family, relatives, and close co-workers. Things that are said behind closed doors are secret for a reason, and it's said behind a closed door for a reason. 99.9% of the times, any of those secrets anywhere aren't that bad. It's just things that most people don't wish to disclose out in public. That's the secrecy.
And I'd like to point out that, to my knowledge, the Masons don't have their own city that is also a country. Kind of pointing out the Vatican here, folks. That's some of the ultimate secrecy in the world. I don't know about you, but I've never been. I've never tried to go. But they supposedly have, 20-something miles of archives and shelving in the basement?
Some of the oldest and rarest in the world. But hey, matter of fact, you know what? Since they're talking about secrets, if you would like to see an historic library, the Ancient and Accepted Freemasons of South Carolina Grand Lodge over in Lexington, South Carolina, they're generally open as a normal business Monday through Friday. You are more than welcome, and they will give you a more than welcome, happy, guided tour of the entire archive and all the books they have. And most states are that way. If you like to go see all their old books and their old secrets, they'd be more than happy to take you in there and show you and tell you all about them, probably to ad nauseum, tell you about all the old books. I will guarantee you, you will never, ever, ever get into the deepest parts of the vault of the Vatican. So, like I said, the Catholic Church, in the Catholic Church, most Catholic people I know are good, God-fearing people. Unfortunately, it is some of the people like Dr. Dan Schneider who want to promote their agenda to sell books and make money, which is unfair to the Catholic religion. So that's all I got for today, and I will get off my soapbox. I'm David over at Two Beards and a Plan.
And I'm Tuck. Y'all have a Happy New Year.